Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 10 of the Intel Extreme Masters in Shenzhen, China. My name is William Cho, also known as Chober. We'll be kicking off a full weekend of StarCraft 2 and then followed by Heroes of the Storm as we go into a brand new season of the Intel Extreme Masters. And of course, to start things off today in the opening match, we have Rotterdam and Artosis joining me here at the desk. How are you guys feeling today? Are we all rested and ready to go for a full 3 days?
I am so rested and ready right now. I'm so pumped. It's been a while since I've actually done anything outside of Korea, so I'm really stoked to finally come back to work and be here at the opening of the 10th season of IEM.
Yeah, I mean, you nailed it right on the head. 10 seasons of the Intel Extreme Masters Rotterdam. I mean, it's come a long way. Do you have any fond memories of the older times?
Oh, for sure. I remember when I was a young and ambitious nerd and I thought I was going to lift up a trophy one day like Letur did. Unfortunately, I never really made it that far. I actually never qualified for the main event as I was very good in, let's say, early exits when it comes to big tournaments. But no, it's really crazy where IEM has gone from, you know, Warcraft 3 first off, and even StarCraft 2, the circuit has changed so much.
Yeah.
But I still have very fond memories of the IEMs we did in 2011, you know, that show one, the now famous Hearthstone player. So, you know, it's been really an amazing journey.
Yeah, I mean, we've changed a lot, of course. StarCraft 2, we've been with StarCraft 2 for a couple of years now. We've had quite a few champions. You know, a couple repeats, of course, and one who's still here in Shenzhen coming back for another shot at the title. But yeah, it all leads to that World Championship at the end. I mean, Intel Extreme Masters isn't just an event that we have that's like, oh, we'll have a weekend here and a weekend there. It actually is a full circuit that dives into the World Championship that leads into TvZ at the end, and then all the winners from the different events come together, and one winner gets to have their name on that trophy. I mean, that means a lot.
Yeah.
That is epic. Everyone is looking to make it to TvZ for that World Championship because it's really one of only like 3 events that we really can say we have a world champion at. You know, it truly is an international event.
Yeah, there's a lot of build-up into this. So again, this is a 10th season. I mean, it's not just that we're visiting Shenzhen and just happen to drop by this awesome convention, which it is. We've got like, it's like a comic and anime type of convention. I don't know the like full title because it's all in Chinese on my badge. I haven't really gotten that down yet, but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff going on.
Oh, totally. And Apollo would completely agree. He was walking around taking pictures of all the cosplayers. So definitely a fun event for everybody.
Yeah, we've had a chance to look around a little bit, but for now, we are diving right in. Of course, we already had things kick off a little bit yesterday. We have 3 days going forward in the round of 16 for the StarCraft 2 tournament. And again, the winner gets to secure their spot in the World Finals in Katowice. So the open bracket we've had are 5-player seeding into the round of 16. We do have 4 groups of 4, of course, 4 times 4, resulting in 16 players. Don't worry, I got my math, guys. I know.
Math live on television.
Knowledge here. I was doing my calculations live, but we'll be going through groups A and B today. So we're going to go through all of Group A and B. We'll know who moves on into the quarterfinals. Then tomorrow, day 3 on Saturday, we go through Group C and D. And then all of the playoffs, all the bracket stage on Championship Sunday. So pretty exciting. And it's, you know, in some ways a little different. Sometimes we have tournaments where we have those cliffhangers going into day 2, and some people still have to hold on to their nerves going into day 2. But for now, it's like you play today, and everyone will be done. Some with smiles and some with frowns.
Yeah, this is how we used to do it, and I do kind of like it, because now it really feels like you're moving in phases throughout the tournament. You wrap up a group, you start the next group, you wrap that one up, you know, you wrap up the day, and then tomorrow we're going to do the same thing all over again. So I kind of like this format just because it makes it very easy to follow. Keyword over here, storylines, boom.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely keep track of our storylines quite a bit going forward. And there is a lot to look forward to. I mean, 16 players, and sure, we have our favorites. We have some returning favorites like Hero. Of course, you can't forget Hero when you talk about the Intel Extreme Masters. But then we have some other names. Specifically, I think Jim stands out to me, of course. He's a player that's been well known around the world as that kind of key Chinese player. And we have quite a few here, but I think a lot of people in the venue are going to look to him to maybe carry that trophy at the end.
I mean, he had a phenomenal run last year at the Intel Extreme Masters in Shenzhen, made it to the semifinals. I would even go as far to say that was the best result of his career, despite his good WCS run. So Jim definitely has something to live up to once more. I'm personally very excited to see my boy Marul Turmo in action, as he's a literal dropping god. And of course, you know, the Protoss bias that I have, you just look at Group B B, and you have Classic and Rain in one group.
And Younghwa.
And Younghwa as well. And then you look at
Guys.
Group D, and there is
Guys.
Harding. It's like, oh my God, is this tournament made for me? I think it's made for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of fun names to look forward to. And again, if you have a little bit of bias for Protoss, I don't think you can ask for a better round.
Oh no, me and Roddy are happy as can be right now. I mean,
and
this
Hero,
is-
of course. I didn't even mention Hero yet,
Yeah.
but you're just looking at 5 absolute world-class Protoss players.
The Protosses are absolutely insane here, even having the best Protoss from China, of course, is mentioned.
Yeah.
The other races lacking a little bit. We should mention, of course, that Jaedong, who was supposed to be here, didn't get his visa in time, so isn't able to play.
Yeah, so we do have a Supernova coming in through the bracket there, and then Losira also coming in through the open bracket in Group A. And of course, in Group D, we have Beastork coming from Hong Kong, so not far away at all, actually. Just a, 2-hour drive? It's not too bad. So, you know, he's very local. Hopefully we have some fans in the venue cheering for him, trying to represent the local home ground advantage, I would say, in Group D. But he'll be playing tomorrow. So today, we start with Group A. Again, it is going to be TY, Supernova, Heart, and Losira. Supernova and Losira coming in through the open bracket. Now, I think it's quite fair to say that TY looking kind of the strongest in this group. Maybe not the strongest in the whole tournament, but at least in Group A.
You know, I think that you're right about that. Some people might argue that it's Losira. He did just knock TY out of Code A in a 3-2 score, but I think overall TY he's a little bit better than Losira right now if you look at the rest of his results.
Yeah, I mean, we were just looking at it a little bit, Roddy. I mean, TY seems to be kind of on a tear, if we really want to put it accurately.
He has had some ridiculous victories. Like the other 3 players in this group, all very respectable, especially Losira. He's also been messing around with the big boys for a long time. Supernova and Hart have kind of been all over the place, also competing in America. But the people that TY have been in recently, they don't just get any better than that. Like, you're talking about Rain, you're talking about Stats, you're talking about Su. Those are the absolute best players in the world. So if you can defeat those guys, and then you head to an Intel Extreme Masters, and you look at this group, well, this is a very tough group and a pretty wild group with a lot of history among these players with each other as well, especially like TY and Losira just very recently, like Dan mentioned. But in the past, they played quite often against each other. But I do think TY stands out a tiny bit just because he has those massive victories under his belt. Like, he's not defeating B-team Koreans over here. He's defeating the absolute best of the best.
Yeah, you know, I have to say that I definitely think a Protoss will take the tournament, but if a Protoss does not, it will be TY. I think no one else is going to be able to quite stand up to the ridiculous Protoss might of these. We have like 4 of the top 6 Protoss in the world here this week.
I mean, I think that's kind of in agreement with everyone, right? I mean, those 4 show up, and it's going to be one of them probably. And statistically, too, we have so many Protoss that chances are you can flip a coin and we could have Protoss up there.
Guys, it's maybe because I'm Dutch, but I'm believing in Maru Turmo over here. Like, he's going to show, like, the real Maru didn't come, but we got the second best thing over here. The Dutch version of Maru.
We'll find out tomorrow. You can keep saying that until tomorrow. We'll have to find out once the matches go through. It doesn't really look like an easy group in Group C, but that'll be another topic.
I think he's making out though. Like, we can talk more. Like you said, we talk more about it tomorrow. But I really believe in my Dutchie that he can make it at least to the quarters, and then it depends a little bit on who he plays.
Right. I mean, but yeah, I mean that's same for everyone, right? Quarters. Sometimes you luck out on the bracket, and hey, that's part of the game.
And sometimes you get rain.
Sometimes you get rain. Yeah, very well put. But Group A again, we are kind of highlighting TY, Losira. We talked a little bit about Hart and Supernova. I mean, you know, they're players that definitely have their chances. I mean, no one's really going to be. We're not going to count anyone out. Would you say that Group A probably also the group where if we were going to see anyone make an upset in the whole tournament, it's going to be from Group A?
I think so. Like, some of these other groups are really stacked towards the high end, and you kind of look at it, you're like, well, I mean, Rain just won Home Story Cup and GSL Class. Like, he's getting out, right? There's no way. But you look at this group, and you know, in the best of 3 format, we could see Supernova and Hart come out and pull some upsets. You know, whether that's with bunker rushes or just some aggressive, like, one-base TVT play against TY, absolutely could happen.
Like, I think it's possible one of those 2 makes it out. I don't see both Supernova and Hart advancing. That would really be like, what the hell is actually going on over here? I'd be so shocked. Like, I've always been a little bit of a fan of Hart. I have a soft spot for Hart in my heart. That wasn't even on purpose, actually. No, but ever since I started casting him a lot in WCS America over the last few years, like, he's had some ridiculous games, including one of the craziest comebacks I've ever seen against the Chinese Zerg. That's unfortunately not here. And ever since then, Hart has really warmed up to me a lot, and I kind of want to see him do well. I've always felt that TVP is his weakest matchup, which he doesn't have to worry about yet. Like, if he would advance, then there's a good chance he would have to worry about it. So I kind of look at this group, and I know it's very tough for Hart. I know he's not a favorite, but I kind of feel like if you still want to make a big impression on people, if you still want to show the world that you're a Terran player that truly matters, Hard has to make it out of this group. This is really kind of like one of those, maybe not do or die, but it's a really big opportunity to finally show to the world again that, hey, I am still one of those upper echelon Terrans.
Yeah, I mean, especially considering Group A, we've got 3 of those right there. I mean, if you make it out, you pretty much have your work cut out for you saying, hey, well, I got into the quarters, there weren't many of us left. Yeah. So you can kind of prove that you were in the top 8, and there weren't many of you, so you're probably in like the top 2 of your race, at least here in Shenzhen. That's a pretty good argument to make, but right now we're going to focus on TY versus Losira. That's the match that's going to kick us off on the main stage, and we will have Heart versus Supernova playing off stage and then go forward to the winner's match from there onward. And, this has always bothered me while we wait for the opening match to kick off here. Looking at TY, let's talk about TY actually first.
He's looking pumped.
Well, well, I don't know what he's staring at, but he's waiting for his match. But TY, we've been highlighting him, but there's a specific reason why. I mean, he's had a pretty good finish quite recently, Artosis.
Yeah, I mean, TY overall right now is doing really well. Like, if you look at his IEM Gamescom qualifier run, it's pretty darn sick. He took out Stats, Billowy, and Rain in there as Protoss players, and that's like really the race of the tournament you have to be prepared for. He 3-1 Trap in SSL. Like, the kid has a lot of really great results under his belt recently, but I guess the one that's really going to be hanging over his head is the fact that Losira just beat him in Code A and knocked him out of GSL.
Yeah, that's got to be a little bit of a tough cookie to have to face him right away again here on the opening day. Now, on the other side, like you just mentioned, it's going to be Losira, and I like Losira because when I first got into the StarCraft 2 scene, like actually doing events, Losira was somewhat relevant in 2013, and then no one really heard of him too much after that. I was gone for a little bit after that, and now I'm back, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember Losira. I know Losira. I can relate to that. So, but aside from now being here in Shenzhen, what else makes him relevant, Roddy? I mean, it's been a while since he's had kind of something to put on his resume, to say.
Yeah, that's true, and I do feel that over the last few months, though, he's definitely become a lot more prominent. He made it to Home Story Cup, that was like in November, December. He had a pretty good finish there, top 4, I believe.
Yeah.
TY was there as well, ironically enough. But I do feel with you like that he was absent of the scene for a little bit, and I never really understood why, because there was a lot of hype going around him. Everyone loves that little YouTube video where his hands are just blazing over the keyboard. I show that video to StarCraft nerds or to people that are not very familiar with StarCraft. They're like, so people are really fascinated in the game now. I was like, yeah, look at this guy, and then I always show off Losira's video, and they're like, man, that's crazy. How is that even possible? And it is a little bit strange that he faded, and I kind of thought once he faded, he would never come back, but then he did come back, and he's putting up acceptable results. I wouldn't say as good as TY, despite the fact that they knocked him out of Code A, but it's been pretty all right, I'd say, over the last few months.
Yeah, I mean, he's been doing all right, but I have to say, Losira always did well. It was Kongho that didn't do well. He changed his ID, had a fall,
Very true.
Came back as Losira more recently. He has his chances here. I mean, he's the Zerg that we're all looking to do well along with Snoot, I guess. But he's really got his work cut out for him.
That's such a great strategy. Like, I feel like if there are a couple of events where I feel like I'm just not going to cast very well, I'm going to name myself Le Tout. And then people will be like, man, this Le Tout guy sucks. And then Todd like, hey, man, why are you calling yourself to me? Sorry. And then I just go back to Rotterdam again.
Hey.
And no one ever knew it was me underperforming all weekend.
Fair game. Yeah, I mean, as long as we don't have a tournament player cams and whatnot, so it's like an online tournament, you just switch your name, play a couple matches, and then come back, say you kept your reputation clean. But Losira versus TY, that will be our first match going forward in Group A. Ghost, and it's not going to matter too much. I mean, we're still in the group stages. No one gets knocked out here in the very first match. But going towards the winners matches, considering these two, I mean, they know that they're probably the two favorites here in the group. So going on to the winners match is going to be a pretty big relief, I would say.
Yeah, but it's a tricky group, though. Like, whether you're TY, you have to play against a Terran afterwards. Maybe your tournament life depends on it. It's a mirror. What if that guy opens up with something you just haven't really figured out yet? Drops a bunch of Hellions, kills a few SFVs. Suddenly you're one game away from being eliminated. So for TY, I think TY looks at this for 2 reasons. One, he wants to take a sweet revenge for that Code A loss. He's going to be like, man, that was a mistake. That should have never happened. I think I'm better than you. He's going to put Losira in his place here. And if you're Losira, you're also kind of worried about this group, because I think he knows that Hard's best matchup traditionally has been TvZ, right? I truly feel that that's the one matchup where Hard has been excelling at for a long time, and it's just on another level compared to his TVP, for instance. So I think neither of these two players is looking at this like, well, if I lose the first series, we're the two favorites. I think it's going to be all right. Like, no, it's going to be very tough for the guy that ends up losing the first series over here.
All right, well, the best of three, again, I mean, best of three is really anything can happen. We could have the match done in 30 minutes. It could go an hour and a half. It all really depends on what their strategy is here, if they want to just get out quickly. I mean, one of these players could technically be done before, like, lunchtime. They could actually just be done with their first day. They could 2-0 their group, go back, have a little bit of rest, get some dim sum, and then, you know, go rest in the hotel.
But it could also be the opposite, mate. Like,
yeah, you could be done completely out by lunchtime, in which case I think you go take a dip in the pool, you know, you relax a little bit, maybe watch some games later.
All right, well, both players are getting all settled in the booth, so we will be kicking off the opening match here in a little bit. Again, I mean, Season 10, they're the ones that are going to kick it off here for the Intel Extreme Masters. That's pretty neat, too. You know, you can at least say, like, all right, well, if you win here, you can say, I kicked off Season 10, went 2-0, and maybe you go, like, undefeated until the finals.
I mean, it's a great start as well for the entire year. We already mentioned Katowice a little bit before that, but winning the first stop, you know, that's just so nice, because then for the rest of the year, you will always have motivation to practice and stay in shape, because you know you've got one more massive tournament coming up. So there is no reason for you to ever sit back and be like, oh man, I lost in Godes, there's nothing to play for. Like, you know that Katowice is not extremely far away. I mean, we just started with Season 10, but before you know it, it's March again. So I think it's a really nice motivational boost for any of these guys.
All right, opening match, it's going to be TY versus Losira, best of three, to see who goes on to the winner's match of Group A. To kick things off at the Castrix, it will be Apollo and Pig.
Thank you very much, Chobra, and welcome to the casting desk to kickstart the Intel Extreme Masters Season 10. Joining you here casting for the first time, been hosting a little bit, but now it's time for us to join forces together, Pig, and do some StarCraft commentary. Let's jump right into this one as the game has officially loaded, and this is the very first game of Season 10 of the Intel Extreme Masters. To the left-hand side here is the red Terran player. From KT Rolster, it's TY.
A strong Terran player coming in as the favorite in this group. He wants to get some revenge on Losira for getting knocked out of GSL.
And funny enough, on the other side of the map here, dear Pig, we have the Blue Zerg player Losira.
A crazy aggressive player, Losira, looking intense there, and we can see he's already got his plan going for this match. He has already put down a 6-pool. He's going all in.
I can't believe he's going for this build to open up his best of 3 against TY. He's already beaten TY a lot over the last couple of months. He beat him and knocked him out of the GSL more recently, just a single week ago. And then, of course, when Rotterdam brought up Home Story Cup, he also eliminated TY from that tournament too. And here he is, kickstarting his tournament with a 6-pool.
You know, TY, a lot of the time people say he's the better player on paper, but Losira historically has beaten him almost every time they've come up with some really aggressive, sneaky plays. And this is just so blatantly aggressive. And he knows how this map plays out. Look at this, TY's going for that command center first.
He's chosen a command center first. Of course, naturally, delaying his barracks. He's in so much trouble at this point. SUVs are going to have to be called to duty to defend against the Zerglings. This drone here being a nuisance, blocking a potential wall to be built. Here, Pig.
Oh, and if he can just block that for a few seconds more, these Zerglings are almost here. This just looks completely normal for TY, but look at that, he's going for the gas before the barracks, and the Zerglings are coming in.
And here we go, he finds it, he cancels the gas, he knows he's in trouble, he starts the barracks, but as the Zerglings enter, the barracks hasn't even begun yet, and TY is in trouble. If he loses that supply depot, he wouldn't even have supply to build a Marine. He is in so much trouble.
Oh, Losira is just smiling to himself in the booth right now. He knows he can just take his time with this, turning around to take a good fight here, and all the SCVs going down. What a quick win.
Nice and easy for Losira. A great start to the Intel Extreme Masters here in China. A 1-0 lead he takes versus TY, and he continues his winning streak against that player.
That is Losira in a nutshell. You know, it puts me always a smile on my face watching this guy play. He just loves to go out there, take those risks that no one else takes. And he's just sitting there in that booth looking calm, thinking, you know, I wanted a quick game one. I thought he was going to go for the economic opening or maybe take a little bit of a risk. You know, no one rushes, no one 6-pools on that map. Free win.
Free win indeed, and TY just slapped down immediately. Welcome to the Intel Extreme Masters. Both of these players playing in the tournament for the very first time, despite both trying to qualify for multiple years now. TY beginning qualifiers way back in 2013, Losira in 2012. finally in 2015, they both get to play, and it's a 6-pool. We couldn't even describe the map, the game, the players. It was over before it even begun.
Oh, that's got to shake you up a little bit, you know. TY's got to be feeling a little bit under pressure. He was drinking his Yakult there, getting his nice macrobiotics and whatnot, trying to get focused. Losira, look at that. He's just like, yeah.
That's the face of a killer who's 6 pools no matter what league you're in. You deserve that victory, my friend.
Oh, that was beautiful. You know, you see this build so rarely that it almost doesn't even register on your mindset. As TY, first game of the tournament, you've flown over here to China, first time at an IEM. To have that happen, he's gonna have to dig deep and not get thrown off. He's got to stay calm after that.
It's one of Lucira's strengths, but also one of his weaknesses is his decisions to go for these aggressive strategies. I think it's probably been the bane of his career for the majority of it, is that he is overly aggressive, and it's such a risk because if you think about the different Terran openings that there are, Reaper expansion, one barracks expansion, all these different types, they can deflect this, they can stop this. But the one weakness this can have is when you open up with Command Center first here, and that was what TY chose. And Losira, you know, he rolled the dice and he got paid off.
Yeah, and you know, it's not a blind roll of the dice. There always is a plan behind it. Looking at that map, there's only one way for Reapers get in the base. It's not a very strong opening, so most Terran players are opting for that. It's a very new map to the pool, and Losira is very quick to identify there's a good chance he's going for that, and picks up a very easy win.
All right, well, the second map is going to be one of the newer maps as well. It's Terraform. It's also making its debut into the Extreme Masters, and let's see what TY can do to turn this around, because he hasn't had the best of starts, but of course it's just a single map and it is a best of 3. He has the opportunities to do that. So here we are, loaded into the second map of this best of 3, and as down here in the bottom right hand side is the 20-year-old from KT Rolster. It is TY.
Such a strong Terran player, but he's gonna have to keep calm if he wants to bring this one back. He's looking a little bit thrown off in that booth.
His opponent up here, kick-starting off in a fascinating way. It is Losira, and it's the blue Zerg player.
The eyes of a killer there. He really does look so focused. And it is interesting if you think about Losira and his history as a player. His peak in his career was actually 4 years ago.
Yes.
Which is an eternity in the world of esports. He made it to the GSL finals. I believe he even took out an MLG. He was doing amazingly. He had a really good year even through to 2013, but last year he fell off the radar quite a lot. And this year is really the story of him kind of powering back up slowly, and he's been getting better and better performances. And I think he sees this as a big opportunity here. He's getting one of these rare opportunities to go overseas to compete in such a prestigious tournament as the Intel Extreme Masters, and he wants to come out of this group in first place. He wants a top 4 finish in this tournament.
Absolutely, and if you look at Group A as a whole with Supernova and Hart, the 4 players in this group, it is a race to see who can challenge the 4 Protoss players, the way that I look at it, because we will have 2 players advance from this group naturally, but these 2 players must compete against the 4 top-tier Protoss players that we have in Hero, Parting, Reign, and Classic. But on the other side of things, TY's had a very interesting career himself too. I mean, starting as a professional gamer at 12 years old, playing for We Made Fox, and has been a professional Kesper-trained StarCraft player since 2006. Absolutely mind-blowing. And here he is, fast forward to 2015, 20 years old, playing in China for KT Rolster. And that's a fantastic career. Very different one to the majority of players.
It's very odd, isn't it, if you think about pro gaming for that long and how in tune with the game you do get. But he never has been a champion yet. TY has been such a mainstay of KT Rolster for a long time now. He's been a good, solid Pro League player, but he hasn't made that championship. And as Artosis was talking about before, this is his year where he's starting to power up. He got a top 8 in GSL at the start of this year. He's been doing better and better in these individual leagues especially. And he doesn't want to let his own standards down here. I believe this is his first tournament outside of Korea.
Second tournament. Played at a DreamHack before, but second tournament. Or third tournament, sorry, even. But anyway, the Reaper here, Pig, has gone around. There's 2 Zerglings that are going to get towards this SCV and is going to delay this command center.
Yeah, this is so good for Losira, going for that pool first build because the Reapers get to your base so early. But look at this, the reactor's building, TY has no fighting units at home, and this command center is going to be delayed for a long, long time. The SCV pulling off very quickly. It's going to ring around a Rosie, but there's no solution. There's no way to not lose a lot of build time in that command center. Just a very nice build order advantage for Losira.
And if you think about the psychological aspect of StarCraft 2 now, you've just been 6-pulled, and you've just had to delay your command center by an extra 20 seconds. And it's these small things that really do build up, that give Losira momentum, and also do the complete opposite to TY.
It's such a fantastic way to open up for Losira because of that reason. Zergling speed, it isn't going yet. Why not? He doesn't need it to be going. He's pulled the pressure completely off him. TY has no idea what's going on the other side of the map, and Losira is just freely powering out drones, now starting up that Zergling speed, and just going to most likely go into a very standard game from here.
Whereas on the other side of things, TY now finishing up with that command center. He's thrown down a starport, is building Marines, single file at this point, with adding on 2 Hellions at a
and
time.
the armory goes down as well. So this is going to be what we often call the flash timing, most likely. One of those fast medevac Hellbat Marine aggression builds. Very, very powerful if you don't have any Roaches or Banelings out. And if we look at Losira's side of the map, he hasn't really been adding on a lot of extra Queens. So he is going to need to drop down a Roach Warren or something like that very soon.
But he has chosen to go for a fast layer. He has an overlord towards the south side of this map. This is a very important overlord because it needs to go in to see what is going on. He hasn't scouted anything right now, Pig. He doesn't know this type of attack is coming.
And it could hit him very, very early here. He does need to drop down some sort of defense very, very soon. That medevac is on the way. Of course, he does have a little bit of time left. Looking like he wants to go up to that 2-base muta. But those mutas, there's no way they'll be out in time for this. He's going to have to defend with just what he's got here on this hatchery tech. And he's adding a 4th queen. It'll help out.
And a spine crawler too.
Oh, that should finish up just in time for this. And with the extra queens coming out, he should have a decent shot at hanging on. This is a very committed pressure from TY, so keep in mind, he has to do a lot of damage here. If he just whiffs and just maybe kills a queen or two, that's not enough damage. He wants to really get in there, kill a lot of Zerglings, drag out the fighting for a long time, keep Losira off saturating that third base.
Losira is supply blocked at 60 right now, having to build 3 overlords at a single time. He has minimal amount of units out, and here comes the attack. The armory is finished, and we will see transformations into Hellbats. Here we go. And can Losira hold on to this? As you said, a very committed attack coming out from TY. And it begins now. These Hellbats doing a lot of damage to the spines, but it does get us transfused from these queens. The Marines are gone and the Hellbats are taking damage.
Really good hold from Losira so far. The Zergling flank actually picking off most of the Marines without the Hellbats coming into that fight. And the spine crawler's down, but there's only 2 Hellbats left.
And that is it. With a lot of Zerglings coming out, this is going to get pushed back. 2 Hellbats with almost no hit points left. Losira manages to hold on. Very nicely done there by the player from MVP. And all of a sudden, TY finds himself in a bit of a difficult situation.
That's a really, really nice hold for Losira. He's got to feel so comfortable. And when you're already going for a fast Mutalisk build, you're going to be looking to put so much counter pressure on. And think about what TY skipped with this opening. Constantly building units out of all his production. He hasn't been adding add-ons. He hasn't got extra barracks down yet. He doesn't have any ability to really build the anti-muta. There's no Thors, there's no Marine production. He's got to try and find a way to keep Losira back for a couple of minutes, buy himself time to get up some missile turrets, get up a ball of Marines.
Not the best of starts here for TY in his first InTouchStream Masters tournament. As Losira, 7 Mutalisks on the way. The scan goes down for TY. He sees the layer completed, and he knows what setup he's playing against. He knows that Mutalisks are going to be on the way. Engineering bays do get put down. This is an also, once again, dedicated move coming out from TY. 4 Hellbats and 2 Medivacs as Mutalisks are completing.
Oh, this is the anti-timing coming in right as the Mutalisks pop, and he's not going to get anything done here. Losira even pulling back the Zerglings, not wanting to take any unnecessary damage here, and such an efficient cleanup. As the Zerg player, in this position, you feel unstoppable. TY knows this. He knows he needs to drag this out. He needs to really get down, focus, and try to have perfect defense from these Mutalisks. If these Mutalisks can find an opening when they push across the map, things are going to fall apart very quickly for TY. TY needs perfect missile turret placement, and he needs to be on the ball with those Marines and Medevacs.
Well, here come the Mutalisks. The turrets are just about to finish up, which should be enough defense, with also Marines in support. But he is tucked tight defensively on these 2 bases. And of course, in StarCraft, once you are a very defensive manner, it allows your opponent to just take complete control. Expanding, drone production, upgrades, all these options now completely available to Losira. And then the moment that TY is open to moving out, Losira is going to be ready.
No third command center even in sight. he hasn't had the window to do it just yet. So TY is pinned back on these two bases. Now Losira did slow down his saturating that third base, him finishing off that economy, because he went for this very fast tech. These Mutalisks, this ability to just fly around the map. It's basically just the ability to control anything the Terran can do. The Terran, if he wants to put pressure on, those units are going to get tracked down by those Mutalisks. They will get shut down.
Losira still just floating around, having a look where this army is, knowing at all times there is a dart of Hellions slightly north, but they were found out immediately. And TY has to solve this puzzle, and it's not an easy one here, Pig. What are his options? I mean, he's stuck on two bases. He isn't moving out at this moment.
He could play very, very slowly from here, or he could go very, very aggressive and all in, and it looks like that may be his option. He's kind of pushing out, trying to sneak a drop out the northern side while coming down with this push, but with no third command center behind this, like you said, there's no real economic transition here. He has to either put down that command center behind this and just play very conservatively, try to kind of put some pressure on, but he cannot take a bad fight. If he loses one army, the game will be out of his grasp. It'll be completely out of control. And we see Losira's economy starting to kick in. He's getting to that point where he's got so many drones, all he wants to do is just mass Zerglings and Banelings here. He's going to go for this big swarming army, and if he has just a little bit more time to build up, he's going to be able to overwhelm this army.
Banelings rolling forward, and Losira says, "Hello, mate. You're not quite on the same level as me today, are you?" And he slaps that army down very easily. TY gets pushed back, and that's a nice, easy defense from Losira onto his third base. There is another squad of units at the top, but it does not matter. Losira slaps TY down instantly and takes a very swift and very convincing 2-0 to start his first ever tournament at the Intel Extreme Masters and moves forward to the winners match with ease. An unfortunate start here for TY.
That's got to shake you up a little bit. I've been in that situation where you get to a tournament, you're pumped, you're prepared, you're ready, and then you just get slapped down. And no matter, you know, what choices it were that led to you losing, you always feel a little bit like your confidence is being knocked down. You're like, do I belong here? Do I really belong on this stage right now? And TY is going to need to collect himself, because going into that losers match, into a TVT is going to be very, very difficult.
TY did play through qualifiers to be here, but unfortunately, when he arrived, wasn't able to perform. Still has another chance, of course, in the double elimination group format that we have here, and must fight in the elimination game to survive, as Losira picks up his first victory as he nears closer and closer towards his 1-year anniversary on MVP. It's in 2 weeks' time, and the perfect tournament to start playing well near that anniversary. Contracts are finishing up, more money possibly on the table as he continues to do well in 2015.
It's something we don't talk about a lot, but yeah, it is actually a very important time, especially in Korea, when you've got those very solid yearly contracts. Renegotiation, you want to have those solid results.
All right, well, good to cast with you, Pig. I'm sure we're going to have a lot more commentary coming our way.
Hopefully some longer games than that.
Well, I'm pretty sure we will have more commentary coming our way, unless we did something wrong here. As Carmack at home is watching, maybe we did a bad job and we're not allowed to cast anymore, I don't know. But for now, it is time to head over to the desk, who's Losira is joining the boys.
Thank you very much, Sean. Yeah, I would hope to see you guys at least a couple more days, because I am not ready to sit down and cast StarCraft. Dude, the last time Sean made me do that, it didn't go too well. We did it live and it didn't go too well. But for now, we have Losira here at the desk. Losira, congratulations on winning your opening match. 첫 번째 매치 축하드리고요. 이제 가볍게 이기셨는데 오늘 들어오면서 이번 IEM 시작하면서 좀 쉽게 이길 것 같다, 그런 분위기가 있었나요? 아니면 그냥 생각했던 대로 처음에 좀 치즈로도 시작하셨는데 기분이 지금 어떠세요?
제가 그 B조 선수들이랑 그다음에 A조에서 정태양 선수를 좀 많이 잘한다고 생각했었는데 하필 A조에 걸려가지고 좀 많이 힘들다 생각했었거든요. 근데 그래도 경기가 제 마음대로 풀려가지고 그나마 이기게 된 것 같아요.
Oh, all right. Well, just saying, Group B, actually coming in, I thought Group B was going to be really tough. And then TY, I actually fear him a little bit. I respect him a lot as a player. So I wasn't too excited about my group. But hey, it opened up. I got a 2-0. So now I definitely feel a lot more confident going forward.
Yeah, I just have a small question. Actually, I changed my question. I want to know why he decided to 6-pool on Bridgehead. It's a relatively new map. How was he so sure that TY was going to go CC first?
오늘 첫 경기에서 맨 처음 맵에서 좀 어떻게 보면 이제 최근에 나온 맵이고 한데 어떻게 그런 확신을 가지고 했었나요? 아니면 본인이 할 때도 아 이게 과연 이게 잘 될까 좀 확신이 없는데도 그냥 식스풀로 가신 건가요?
아 그냥 뭔가 느낌이 와가지고 한번 해봤는데 그게 잘 먹히게 된 것 같아요.
You know, I just kind of feel right when we started. I was like, I think it's gonna work. I think this is the moment. Went with it. He got the win. Hey, no one can complain about that one.
It's a great reason to do a build. I want to ask actually, Losira, about your matches that are going to be coming up if you get out of this group. There's a lot of Protoss in here, but you haven't had a lot of strong victories against Protoss recently. How are you feeling you're going to do this weekend overall against Protoss?
그러면 이제 저희 대회 하면서 이제 프로토스 선수가 굉장히 많고 프로토스 선수 중에도 지금 세계적으로 인정받는 선수들이 굉장히 많은데 최근에 로시라 선수는 직접은 프로토스 상대로 그렇게 좋은 성적은 거두지 못했는데 만약 이제 뭐 8강, 4강까지 올라가게 되면 프로토스를 만나면 얼만큼 준비가 되어 있으신지요?
아 일단 지금 여기 온 선수들이 우승자들을 비롯해가지고 지금 최근에 잘 나가는 토스들 거의 다 모인 것 같은데 그래가지고 제가 승부는 쉽게 예측 못하겠고 일단 제가 만약에 8강에 올라간다면 그냥 최선을 다하는 쪽으로만 집중하려고 해요.
네, 알겠습니다. Well, yeah, I mean, we have a lot of great players right now, a lot of recent winners of various tournaments coming in, probably the best in their form. So it's hard to say if I move forward that I can predict a win or what the score might be. But hey, the best I can do is if I go up to the quarterfinals, again, just take another step back, say, all right, what am I going to do? What do I need to do my best in the quarterfinals and take it one step at a time? And, you know, I think that's reasonable. Like you said, and like Losira mentioned himself, we have a lot of recent winners. I mean, they're feeling invincible right now coming into the Intel Extreme Masters in Shenzhen. Well, thank you very much for your time, Losira. And 인터뷰 감사합니다. And 축하드립니다. So Losira will be going on to the winners match. I mean, it was pretty quick. So if any of you guys like tuned in, you were like, oh, I'm sure they're still in the intro like they always are, and you just realized you missed the match, don't worry. You'll be able to catch some of the missed action, some neat highlights and whatnot of all our games throughout the weekend on plays.tv. So hop on over there, catch up, and while you're doing that, when we return, we will be here with the winners match of Group A.